What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of New York Giants Convo. Today, already on deck, we got the rookie minicamp review. We're gonna try to get into some of the defensive position by position breakdowns, and we just want to talk, New York Giants football. That's what we do over here. All New York Giants fans, tap in, welcome, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's me, your boy NYG Double Deuce, coming at you with Big Pat Sports Talk, and we are giving you New York Giants conversations, man. Right back here after the intro. Tap in.
Welcome to Giants Convo.
All right, man. Welcome back, man. Definitely appreciate y'all tapping in today, man. New York Giants Convo, man. So rookie minicamp definitely popped off this weekend. A lot of good vibes with the New York Giants fans. So we want to tap in and we want to talk about some of the things that took place with the New York Giants in this rookie minicamp. And Pat, a lot of optimism around the Giants all of a sudden, man. Got to see a little bit of Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter, had some UDFAs, do some things. Of course, a lot of hype around Cam Scatbo. And it's just like a 180 with this fan base and with this team, from previous off seasons. Now, with this rookie mini camp, as I got on the screen, some legends was in the building. You had Eli Manning, you had everybody show up, and show out and give their good vibes, their good feelings, talking about the team moving forward into 2025. But what was some of the things that you took out of this camp as we get into it, man? And peace to everybody, man. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, all the great mothers, the wives, the daughters, the grandmothers, all the women out there, all the special women in your life. Make sure, you give them a hug, give them a kiss, you tell them you love them. And, let's definitely, man, take today, man, to honor our women out there, man, doing what they do, standing by the men. But that being said, Coach, the same sentiments, man. Of course, you already know what it is, man. Salute to you and your loved ones. Same to you too, Iman Perry. Appreciate you tapping in. Pablo, same as well. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. And yeah, we here, man. We're gonna talk about the New York Giants, and this fan base is bipolar. This fan base is strange, man.
Yeah, it is.
Strange fan base. I never seen anything like it, but I don't want to attack the fan base. Not today. We're gonna talk about the Giants. Cause see, I have to separate the Giants fans and the actual team when I'm talking. Because the fans is something else. Team, we talk about the team. Pat, man, what you see out there? I know you tapped in with the rookie minicamp. What did you see out there? And if you want to go over some highlights or some things, you can as well. And we're going to tap into some of the topics in the slide here a little bit later, man. But tell us your observations out there, rookie minicamp.
One of my main observations, as you know, I'm going to be paying very close attention to the development of Jackson Dart. Per se, whatever you want to say about this network and everything, we are actually, I'm actually behind Jackson Dart, and I want to see him shine. Be a quarterback that they hope that he can be. But one of my main observations is that he has a very live arm, and I think Kafka is going to be the one calling the plays. And if so, the tight ends are definitely going to be involved, and that's going to help out guys like Jackson Dart. And another observation is they're getting ready to play the Jackson Dart starting angle from week 1. They're ready to start playing that angle. So Russell Westbrook is going to be under a lot of pressure this season.
Wilson, different Russell.
Yeah.
Westbrook could probably start too, but
did I say Westbrook? I thought it said
I think it's Wilson.
Russell Wilson. He's going to be under a lot of pressure this year when he's starting. Every incomplete pass, every bad play, everything that happens with this team, he's going to be under a microscope. And I told people that this fan base is going to pressure the Jackson Dart playing angle. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. And is it fair to Russ or Jackson Dart? No, it's not. But that's one of the main observations that I took from it. I think Jackson Dart is the quarterback that Brian Daboll wanted. I think that's the quarterback Brian Daboll wanted, for sure. He can do some of the things that he wants to do with Jackson Dart. Just don't go out there thinking that he's going to be Josh Allen, because he's not. You're going to have to form a game plan that's going to be a little bit more simpler than what you did with Josh Allen, because he doesn't have that Josh Allen ability to make plays like Josh Allen does, and really nobody does. The closest I think is Lamar Jackson. So you can't go out there and make him play quarterback that way. Make him be a traditional quarterback, and he can take off and run a little bit, but don't force the issue and let him be him. He's a totally different person on that field than he is in those interviews, I'm telling you. But the other main observation, freaking Abdul Carter is a monster. Like, that dude's a freaking monster, bro. Hopefully they have a game plan for him as well. I think they're gonna play him at some inside linebacker on like first, second down, but they're gonna have to allow him to rush the quarterback. So I hope so. I like to see what that Thibodeau relationship is going to be like with the New York Giants this season. That's something I'm going to be, monitoring. How is Thibodeau going to handle, maybe being taken out or forced to rush from the middle? Or maybe Brian Burns could do it. Somebody's going to have to rush from the middle on those third down situations when they're only bringing 4. So we'll see.
Salute to Mets, man. Appreciate you tapping in, man, and definitely baseball fans, go tap in the Mets right now. Call in the Mets game. Of course, as his name indicates, man, tap in right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network.
Against my Cubs.
The Cubbies, yeah. Woo, the Cubbies. The Cubbies ain't doing too bad this year, though. But yeah, Ghost says the goals work towards being undefeated week 1. Hopefully this organization takes the necessary steps to get us there. I hope so. Coach, salute to you too. Ghost Dog, salute, man. Way to keep putting out that heat, man. If you haven't checked out, check out Ghost Dog's new mixtape about the New York Giants 2025 draft. You got highlights of everybody in the draft class. Dope video. Go check that out right here. Of course, where else you gonna get it? On the Aboriginal Sports Network. Yo, man. But now, what you said, I wanna go back to one thing real quick that you said about Abdul Carter. And reports is he's starting out at outside linebacker. You said he might have to slide inside, maybe on first and second downs. You know, Abdul Carter has to set the tone on this defense along with Dexter Lawrence on that defensive line, because he is the X factor. As I mentioned, you know, I don't think he can be blocked one-on-one like consistently. You know, you might get him, you know what I'm saying, a couple times, but he's going to have to set the tone. I mean, that's a lot to ask for a rookie, but he's definitely going to have to be a tone setter on this team early and often, because, you know, they're going to be focused on Dex. They're going to be focused on Brian Burns, you know. They might be focused on Kayvon Thibodeau a little bit more in the beginning of the season, because these are established veteran players. Abdul Carter, that's the X factor. That's the guy you can move around inside, outside, you know, have him as a spy. So that's what I mean by he going to have to set the tone for this defense. That's the guy they're going to have to pay attention to allow the other guys to get free and do what they do. Now, you know, Dex, he's just going to do what he does. He's a solid veteran, you know. But I do want to see Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns get those one-on-one matchups and be able to eat based on the fact that so much attention has to be paid to Abdul Carter. Now, Abdul Carter, you know, look, you the third overall pick, you know, you set the tone for this team, you know, help set the tone for this team. And let's see if Brian Burns and especially Kayvon Thibodeau can produce more with so much attention being paid up. But Abdul Carter's got to make plays, and he's definitely got to finish. You know, that's one of the knocks on Kayvon Thibodeau, not being able to finish. Abdul Carter, we shouldn't have to worry about that. So definitely, man, that's what I want to see, Pat. You know, I think he has to set the tone for this defense, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you my thoughts while answering some questions. Iman Perry, great friend of the show, has had him on the show. Appreciate you always tuning in and, you know, supporting. He said it's not too much to ask. You want an LT and Sims number. You better set the damn tone. See, this is part of the fan base, you know, going at these players. So I would like you to explain what setting the tone means for Abdul Carter. Let's say Abdul Carter comes out in the first 10 games and only has 3 sacks. Is he a bust? Will a Giants fan base turn on Abdul Carter? You know, like they did Thibodeau? Because keep it a buck, they turned their backs on Thibodeau immediately. You know what I'm saying? What if Malik Neighbors only came out and got 60 catches for 700 yards? Would his fan base turn on Malik Neighbors too? You know, it's a rookie. It's a process. He's learning a new system. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, teams will have to plan for you. And so when that plan works and keeps him out, but other people are playing, what does that mean? If Abdul Carter's out there getting double teamed every play, but people like Burns and them making plays, are you going to say the impact of Abdul Carter, or are you going to say he's a bust because he's not running through 3 people to get to the quarterback every single play?
Yeah, I don't think that's what setting the tone means. I think that what it is you want that type of impact as far as allowing the defense to be good. You know what I'm saying? And we know what that looks like, because we know, like, if Abdul Carter is not making the stat line that everybody wants, I'm not talking about stats, I'm talking about impact. If he's not making the stat line that everybody wants, but you got, you know, Kayvon Thibodeau, you know, ending up with double-digit sacks, and you got Brian Burns ending up with double-digit sacks. Okay, cool. Then Abdul Carter obviously made an impact because he elevated the talent around him. You know, so that's what setting the tone and making an impact is. He's a hype guy, you know. I'm not asking a rookie to come in and be a leader, you know what I'm saying? But bring some energy to this defense, have that type of impact, because that's what we need for this defense to take the next level. The Giants have put all their eggs in this basket. You know, the expectation is there and it's going to be there. And we can't duck and run from it and say, well, you just you got to let it grow. Nah, we want to see this season because they're telling you the defense supposed to be like that. They saying it. So, yes, the expectation is there, and Abdul Carter has to be a big part of that, you know, because I'm looking at him as, you know, one of the future stars on the New York Giants defense, you know, and you want to see progression throughout the season. Does he have to come in and have a certain number of sacks? No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think Iman is saying that either. So
no, I'm not saying Iman is saying that. I'm just talking about the fan base in general. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you got certain fans that will do that. I agree, but nah, that's not what we talking about here. We talking about, is he going to set the tone? Can he set the tone and allow this defense to be with the expectation of the defense is be? That's the question I'm asking. I don't know what the Twitter people talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got Coach right here. He says in the 3-4 base set, who are your 11 best 11 to put on the field? Also, who is the 12th nickelback man to play? This is for both you and the chat. 3-4. I think your best lineup is going to be Thibodeau, edge, Brian Burns, edge, Dex, Chauncey Golston, and Darius Alexander with Bobby O, and you can switch out McFadden and Abdul Carter at that second inside linebacker position. The nickel is always going to be Drew Phillips, but if we don't have the nickel out there, it's going to be Deontay Banks and Paulson Adebo with Nubin and Javon Holland. That's going to be their main 3-4 right there, their base 3-4. Now, when you turn it into nickel, where you have to use the 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers, I think you could do the same thing, and you can have Abdul Carter play that amoeba linebacker. You can line them up outside of Thibodeau or outside of Burns, or you can have them come straight up the middle and go against one of those guards and allow Bobby O to patrol the middle of the field with Drew Phillips. So it's a couple of things that you can do, Coach, with Abdul Carter. It's just that I don't know. I don't want him to get that Isaiah Simmons type shit, which I think that's not going to happen because he's just a better player than Isaiah Simmons. Mm-hmm. And you can use him in a lot of different ways, but you don't want him to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. That's what I don't want them to make him be. But I don't think he's the athlete that can even happen to, because he's going to be so dominant in certain positions. You're going to have no choice but to play him. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think the issue could come with Thibodeau, because what if Thibodeau has to come off the field in base formations? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That could be an issue to his psychic and his ego, because let's keep it a buck, he has a huge ego too. You know what I'm saying? He was a top 5 pick as well. So it is. We'll see though. But Coach, that's some of the things I think they'll play Abdul Carter, and you got to keep this kid on the field.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got to have Abdul Carter on the field. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about is Mr. Cam Scatterbo. And now, going back a little bit to what you had mentioned about Mike Kafka possibly calling the plays. Now, you got Cam Scatterbo, you got Tyrone Tracy. A lot of people talking about this rekindling of Thunder and Lightning, with Tiki Barber, Ron James. You had a little bit of that with Bradshaw, Jacobs era. Cam Scatterbo, what can he add to this offense, and how do you see what Mike Kafka did the last time he was the Giants' full-time play caller, if that is the case, which they are reporting that he had the headset on, whatever, in these practices.
Yeah, he was giving the plays through the walkie-talkie.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? how do you think he can improve on what he did in 2022, having Jackson Dart and specifically Cam Scatbo here now in this offense?
I think he can, call more run type plays because when in 2022 we really had Barkley and that was it. But now we got Tyrone Tracy. Is he Saquon Barkley? No. Let's keep it a bug. I know people are going to go into he's not Saquon. I know he's not Saquon Barkley, but he has attributes to where he can get to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have a better, short yardage game with Cam Scatterbo in there. And can Cam Scatterbo come in and fill in when Tracy gets tired? Yes, he has a little wiggle to him too as well. But don't throw him pitches outside like he's a burner. Because he's not. He's that little tough guy in the middle that's going to get those tough yardage and make people miss. And, he's going to run through some people. So I think the running game is going to be around the same than what we had with Saquon Barkley as far as the calling scheme. The production, I don't know. But I do know he has two very good tight ends this year with Fadone and Theo Johnson and Bellinger. He knows how to use him too because he actually had Bellinger to where we were thinking, hey, he can be the tight end. And then Dable took over and Bellinger was a lost cause. And he has better receivers to work with in this scheme. So if Wan'Dale Robinson can wind up being the Richie James of that system and, get those solid first downs. But now you got somebody like Malik Neighbors who's an actual threat. So it actually opens up the field a little bit more for what Kafka wants to do. And you may see Theo Johnson get a 50 catch for 700 yard season with the field being as open with Malik Neighbors out there. So we'll see. I'm not saying that he will run the same system he did in 2022. I think he's very adaptable. So he'll run a system where he has those layered throws for Jackson Dart. The thing I like about Jackson Dart, he's not scared to pull the trigger. So you won't have those plays where you had Daniel Jones where you're scared to pull the trigger and, give his receivers a chance. So Neighbors might not have 110 catches, but he might have 85 catches for 1,400 yards or something like that. That's what you want to see your receivers make the most out of all their targets. So we'll see. I do think he will have a good plan for Jackson Dart. He's worked with him at the Senior Bowl. Mm-hmm. He knows what this kid can do. And like I said, those layered throws are deadly with Jackson Dart. I will give him that.
How does Wan'Dale Robinson fit in all this?
That's the point, man. Is he going to get his route running to where it's done with a purpose? It's cool to go out there and be flying flashy and move your legs real quick and everything, but where are you running your routes? Where are you running your routes with a purpose? That's why people like Restrepo are so, good to a team, a Lad McConkey or, the Wes Welkers and all those guys. Are they the fastest, the shiftiest? No, but they know where they're going and they know how to get to the position that you need them to get to. Can Wan'Dale Robinson be that guy that can move the chains for us in the middle of the field when they lock up Theo Johnson and, they go on one-on-ones on the outside and it's not there? Can he be that guy that can punish that defense? You know what I'm saying? Juan Curl Robinson. He's going to have to run a lot of option routes. He's going to be that. He's going to be that guy that Cole Beasley was for Brian Dable. That's what he wants. And I don't see it with Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's more of a gadget player, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, man, about Wan'Dale Robinson, man. But I do know that Mike Kafka will be a better offensive play caller than Brian Dable, in my opinion, and I think he will get better results out of this team, as constructed right now in this offense, especially with Malik Neighbors, especially with Darius Slayton. You got better receivers than what you had, and Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins and them. Mm-hmm. So you got better options now. Nobody's going to replace Saquon Barkley, but you expect Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatbo combined to be a at least comparable. You also have, the two tight ends now, and you still got Bellinger. So that's another thing. And you expect Jackson Dart to be better than what Daniel Jones gave you. So all in all, I think if they did run that system, it could be a definite better version, and you can get better production and score more points that way. By the Giants got to be run first. You cannot be this pass happy team in the NFC East. When you have Washington, when you have Philadelphia, hell, in the NFC where you have Detroit, when you have Minnesota, Green Bay can run the football, so let's not act like you got a bunch of high flying offenses scoring 40 points every time, going up and down the field, quarterbacks throwing for 500 yards and 5,000 yards a season, man. Ain't nobody
get that here, bro.
Nah, man, and ain't nobody, cutting up like that winning Super Bowls. Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. How many yards he threw for in the season? So you gotta know what you up against, especially in your division, especially in your conference, because that's your path to the Super Bowl. If you can't beat them teams, man, get out the way. So now, we see some of the things on the screen, and I want to talk about this rookie undrafted free agent list a little bit here, because you got Juice Wells, you have DeQuan Felton, who we spoke to at the Senior Bowl. Shout out to DeQuan Felton. It looks like he has gotten better. Shout out to Pat for the tip. But the brother, you see that right there. The brother definitely was out there shining. Can one of these undrafted players make this roster? And what did you see from some of the guys out there during this mini camp that was in the building?
I think DeQuan Felton brings size. Pause. He brings a size to the receiver position that we haven't had in a long time, man. We thought that we could get that with Bryce Ford Wheaton, another undrafted free agent, but he's turned into a special teams ace. For some reason, he's not getting the reps that we thought that he can get, but you got to go out there and prove it. And for some reason, they're not able to prove of themselves of getting out there on the field. When we have Hodgins out there on the field, he was productive, especially in the red zone. He was. Those tough catches across the middle, he was. You know what I'm saying? I think he can actually do a little something. And like I said, we got a chance to talk to him at the Senior Bowl, got a chance to interview him. He was, he took some of our advice, and he didn't shut us off. He was ready. And I will say this, he's very energetic and he's ready to go out there and prove something. So
he's going to work.
And they have released a little Jordan Humphrey. So that clears a little space. So maybe they feel that one of the guys that they have now can fill that role when they need him to be out there. And that also goes to show you that, hey, he played with Russell Wilson. So that Jackson Dart thing could be happening. I'm telling you, sooner than later. If he goes out there and struggle, it looks like we will be playing the Cowboys week 1. Jerry Jones slipped up and said it. So Russell Wilson goes out there to the Cowboys and lays a stinker. Guess what's going to be happening? Jackson Dart, get him in there now. So I think DeQuan Felton does bring a lot to the table. He just has to get the reps, and he's going to have to go into preseason to show that he can have a spot on this team. They did give him a pretty high undrafted free agent deal, to be honest with you. That was pretty high.
They had him in the building for a top 30 visit. I think
Yes,
DeQuan Felton is going to make this team, bro.
I think he is too, because he's not bad. He's just slow off the line of scrimmage. You can't depend on him.
He got to get his route running better.
Yeah.
His feet, his foot movement.
Because his
he
feet,
can catch. He got size, you know. I mean,
he knows how to box out. If you throw it high, he'll catch it. You throw it back shoulder, he'll catch it. And if he could get off the line of scrimmage, dare I say, he could go out there and get some reps in the regular season too. Because we need that possession type guy. People poo-poo that because everybody wants speed and throw it deep all the time. You need that dude that can move the chains. You need that dude that can make that catch with somebody over his back. You know what I'm saying? And he brings it in and gets you a 3rd and 5. You know what I'm saying? You need those guys too. And I will say this, go to your credit, they did bring over his receiver from Ole Miss and Juice Wells. And I think Juice Wells can actually be our returner, to be honest with you, to start off. And Juice Wells, his name is Juice for a reason. You get the ball to him in space, and he can make some things happen for you. So we got talent. Are they going to use it? You know, that's the thing. That's the thing with this coaching staff. Sometimes I don't understand. You got guys with talent, but you don't use it. Is it politics? Is it because they're not the people that you want to shine? You know what I'm saying? Is it that? I don't know. And it's like that. It's not just with the Giants. It's like that on a lot of teams. You be like, why some of these dudes ain't playing? They have talent out this world. You know, can you adjust your scheme a little bit to fit those guys in there because they have talent? I'm the type of coach that I have 2 to 3 separate schemes depending on how I want to attack you today. So it's gonna go, and it is politics. I will say that it's politics in all facets of life.
Now,
so for football, it's the same thing. Go ahead.
Here's the politics part of it. When you're looking at this receiving core, you saying Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. You know, I think those are locks to make the roster. Obviously, you could say Jalen Hyatt, but I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's a lock.
But you got that's 4. So you got Smith, Marset, Zach Pascal, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Antoine Wells, Montrell Washington, DeQuan Felton, Bo Collins, Jordan Blah, and Dylan Cambry. So you got 9 for maybe 2 roster spots if they keep 6. Like, out of those 9, man, this is a question for the chat too. Out of those 9, let me pull up the let me give you guys the visual real quick of what I'm talking about. So we're gonna zoom in on the receivers right here. So there they are right there. You got these 3 as a lock. Then you got Jalen Hyatt. You got Smith Marset. You got Pascal, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Wells, Montrell Washington, DeQuan Felton, Bo Collins, Jordan Blah, and Dylan Cambry.
From Rutgers. What's going on,
Rutgers, Dave? Yeah. Out of those, basically about 9 receivers. Let's see how many we count. 1, 2, 9. Who makes it, man? Who do you think is the favorite? We could say who is the favorite. We don't know who's gonna make it really. But who you got as the favorite to make it? Because I'm thinking it's probably only gonna be 2 spots out of those 9.
Well, I'll tell you the battles that's gonna happen. It's gonna be Marset. It's gonna be Marset. I think he may be a lock. If somebody doesn't prove they could be the kick returner, punt returner, I think he would be a lock. It's going to be Zach Pascal versus Bryce Ford Wheaton because they're going to need that special teams guy. It's going to be Felton versus Bo Collins. One of those guys will get released there immediately. Then I had covering up the is Cambry.
There you go.
But Felton versus Bo Collins will happen probably during mini camp, and whoever wins out of between those two, they will be on the squad to probably get into the preseason. Bly Jordan has a high hill to climb. I have to do what Jordan Bly, that's Dre Bly's son. I have to do a little bit more research on him. Dalen Cambry, if he could come in there and show that he can be that slot type guy that they're looking for, don't be surprised if that little dude makes the team, man. Don't be surprised. If he comes in there and shows that he can be that Cole Beasley type, which I think he is, okay, don't be surprised that little dude makes the team. And Juice Wells, he just has to go and show that he still got the juice. I'll make him my favorite to make it out of those 9 for sure. That's my favorite, okay. Juice Wells.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm with you. If he shows some chemistry with Dart in camp, I think they're definitely gonna that's where, like Iman, like you said, that's where the politics might come into effect. Shout out to crowd favorite media. Shout out to Rafael El Capitan. I see you in the chat. That is basically that part of the politics right there, where I think he could probably sneak a roster spot, especially if he offers anything in the return game. They could use him on special teams with Smith Marset or to replace Smith Marset. I don't know. You could say Daquan Felton possibly has locked up a practice squad spot, but I could definitely see him sneaking on to the roster if there is a injury in camp. I think that's his path. One of these guys get hurt, you could see him get that spot. I don't know about Bryce Ford Wheaton or Pascal, to be honest with you, but I'm with you. I think Juice Wells, if I had to pick my favorites right now, it'd be Juice Wells for your punt kick returner. If that pans out to go over Smith Marset, and then I think they like this kid, Daquan Felton, Pat.
Yeah, I think
they're gonna find a way to get him on the roster. You could see them cutting Bryce Ford Wheaton or Pascal to do that, especially if he does anything on special teams. But you could also see them using him in the red zone, as you mentioned. Giants are still looking for a red zone threat, a consistent red zone threat that they've been missing for a while now. So they tried it with Darren Waller, you tried it with Ford Wheatons, Isaiah Hodgins, and all these different guys, but they put a lot of stock into that kid, Daquan Felton. So did a lot of homework on
free agent contract for sure.
Yep, bought him in for a top 30 visit. We did our homework on him for sure at the Senior Bowl. So which Kafka was there, Joe Shane was there, everybody was there. We seen them. So yeah, man, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Let me give a suggestion though. What if you feel that he can't get his feet right to play the outside receiver position for you, but if he put some weight on, you think he could be a tight end?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like he would be that receiver,
and I think he has the mentality to do that. I think he's a kid that wants to get better. He knows he's not a polished product yet, and I think he's willing to put that work in if he had to make a position change. And you got to look at his frame, so to speak. So I think, looking at him at Tech, his blocking was good. You know, so a wide receiver, I mean, with that size that can move, but is not necessarily the most crisp route runner. Now, what Felton is going to have to show is he's going to have to show off his hands. You know, you got to have sure hands out there. And if he can do that, if he can show himself to be a sure-handed receiver, and if they like his blocking enough, again, I don't think they like Daniel Bellinger like a lot of the fan base does.
Yeah, I don't think they like him at all.
And I think, a move to be made would definitely be to, if they could cut Bellinger or move on from Bellinger, and you move DeQuan Felton in to tight end, and you got 3 monster receivers at tight end with Felton. You will have Fadone and Theo Johnson. I mean, yeah, bro. Yeah. I definitely think that they could do that. That's why I think they're going to do one or two things with Felton. They're going to try to stash him on the practice squad, if they want to get one of these other guys on the roster, or they could try to sneak him into the back end of the roster and start to develop him as the season comes along, But I'm telling you, this guy and Juice Wells definitely have a shot to make this roster. And right now, I think they're the favorites, man. I think they're the favorites. I think the Giants have been looking to upgrade, with the back end of their receiver core more than the first. See, we thinking that they want to upgrade from guys like Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton, but they like these guys in this offense. They want to upgrade on the back end. That's why I think Jalen Hyatt ain't getting that much playing time. I think they want to upgrade for some of these guys on the back end. Smith Marsalis, Bryce Ford Wheaton, he never get a game, just special teams. They keep bringing in Zach Pascals and what's the guy they bought in, the old guy, Cole Beasley. They keep bringing some of these guys in, but they want to upgrade their special teams for one, and, guys that can fill in if guys get hurt on the back end of the roster. But yeah, man, let's get into unless you got anything to talk about with the mini camp, I want to get into the defensive, finish our defensive position by position breakdowns.
Let's go.
And we could definitely get into that. Let us show some love to our network, and shout out to the Man Cave podcast, man. The Man Cave calls all the Knicks games. Shout out to Cave. Knicks took a L last night.
Yes, they did.
But it was a butt whipping. We seen it coming though. But nevertheless, go check out Man Cave, man. For all basketball fans, especially Knicks fans, man.
Who's got the rocket launcher? I say we blow it up. Now fire that thing.
It's for the city of sports, playing with a giant Nick. With my man S. Dot Guard.
That's him.
You feel the vibe?
That's me.
We going live.
That's us.
That like button shared, you been subscribed.
Stadium.
That MetLife Big Blue, home of the Braves.
Yeah.
That turnpike you can see, that's where the game's played. NFL one day, then it's the NBA. Madison Square Garden, that's where the Knicks play. This that NY Logan, no it don't get broken. Legalized, mean this shit smoking. I'm on topic, dropping another episode. The game winner, trade, maybe a field goal. Everybody right now doing the wave. You tune in the show called The Man Cave. I see the chat, they always doing their thing. Big views, 85-inch screen. The game's on, you rush and bleed. Stay calm, you on the road and chill. Do the watch along, the show's on. The host, you know it's S-God. It's no telling the panel filled with guest stars. You're now rocking with The Voice, you know what it is. It's your boy Jay Boogie. You're now rocking with my man S-God. I support him to the fullest, you heard? My man Mike Blaze. This is Alter Productions. What that mean, we about to alter everything that's playing. Tune in. My man S.God. Support the show. Subscribe, share it. Most importantly, hit that like button.
Man, welcome back, man. Definitely appreciate y'all tapping in, and we're gonna get into this defensive preview here. Now, last week we did the offense. We kind of went did a little for better or for worse. Give me a minute to figure out where I put that article at. But we did a little bit for better or for worse, and we're just gonna go position by position, you know, and see if the Giants got better or if they got worse. I don't want to do, you know, they stayed the same. Like, nah. Let's go for better or for worse, man, and see what the Giants, how they look going into the 2025 season. Give me a second. All right, here we go. We're just gonna do it off the roster. So now with the defensive line, of course, we got Roches, Nacho, as everybody call him. They added Jermaine Ledbetter. Of course, you still got Chapman, Elijah Garcia. A lot of people like us. He showed some flashes last year. Of course, you got Big Dex still in the mix. DJ Davison, Jordan Riley, who, you know, iffy on at best. But the big additions here is Roy Robertson Harris, Darius Alexander, and those are the two main additions here when we talk about the defensive line. We're going to exclude the linebackers / edge. We'll categorize them in one category. But defensive line, of course, from last year, you already see the players, the additions that they made. Ledbetter, Roy Harris Robertson, Darius Alexander, the main three from last year's roster. Better or worse here with this D line?
I would say better.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a lot better with the addition of Roy Robertson, Harris Robertson, Roy, and Ledbetter. We definitely have some people that can come in and stop the run when it comes to the interior defensive line. And then Darius Alexander, I think, will be pushed in front of Harris on that roster. Or I will put Alexander where Nochez is, and put Harrison where Nochez is, and then put Alexander next to Dex. That's what I do. And then you will see Chauncey Golston go where Nunez Roches is as well. I don't think Nunez Roches will be a starter on this team. I think it will be Golston, Lawrence, and Harris to start. And then Alexander will slowly move his way in and replacing one of those guys. And then you got Ledbetter that can come in and give Dexter Lawrence a rest. And then, you know, Elijah Chapman can come in. Elijah Garcia, man, it's going to be between him, Davidson, and Riley Jordan, who gets one of those last roster spots. Corey Durden, yeah, he won't make it, in my opinion. But you got Roches, Dex, Harris, Ledbetter, and Alexander are going to make it regardless. So Davidson, Chapman, Elijah Garcia, Riley Jordan, and Corey Durden are going to be fighting for maybe two positions. And they love Chapman, so I don't see Chapman not making his roster either. So maybe those. How
many you think they keep?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think they keep 7. Because Shane loves a rotation. see what I'm saying? He loves the rotation amongst the defensive line. He does.
So, I'm gonna say they got better. Obviously, given the fact that I'm a big Darius Alexander fan, and I think he definitely can give the Giants a dominant 1-2 punch once he's fully developed next to Dexter Lawrence. I think that's going to be problems for years to come in the on the Giants defensive line. I definitely think Ledbetter and Roy Harris Robertson should be an upgrade over Nacho. Try to get him off of the line as a starter. Definitely want to see some better production there. So I'm gonna say better for sure. They didn't lose anybody that I can think of on the defensive line. So you have to say better, man, just with the additions of Harris Robertson and Darius Alexander. So definitely a check for the better there. But let me know what you guys think in the chat or in the comment section for those watching the recap. All right. I'm going to do this one as one group and we're just going to call them linebackers. Because, Coach going to tell me linebackers and edge, depending on your defense, is different. So definitely we're going to categorize them because they have these guys listed as linebackers. Right there it is. We're going to put the group together. So linebacker core: Burns, Okereke, McFadden, Carter. Those are your starters as listed here. This is unofficial, folks. Unofficial Our Lads website. So Golson, Chauncey Golson, addition from Dallas, of course. Darius Morsau inside the inside linebacker rotation with Deontay Johnson. Of course, you got Thibodeau backing up Abdul Carter on this chart. Third string, Victor Demi.
Who's hurt already, tore his pec.
He's out. Demetrius Flanagan fouls. Chris Board signed from Baltimore. Tamon Fox. Then you got Trace Ford and Ty Summers on the back end of the roster, basically as camp bodies. It'd be hard pressed to see them cracking this lineup here. But given what they got right there, you see it on the screen. We asking the question: is it better or is it worse than last year? Of course, the main two losses for the Giants are Azeez Ojulari, now a Philadelphia Eagle, and Isaiah Simmons, now still a free agent. So better or worse?
I think Simmons signed with the Packers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he did. Okay, that's news to me. So Simmons with the Packers, but again, no longer a New York Giant, so he is out. And the main additions for the Giants, obviously, are Abdul Carter, number 3rd overall, and Golston from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think we're better overall, man. With Abdul Carter and Chauncey Golston coming over, that makes us better automatically. And like Alfred said, better based off competition. And like I said, that can literally happen. Abdul Carter is the starter in the base defense, while Thibodeau is not. And like I said, how is that going to play out? I think you'll see Thibodeau slide into where New Year's Roaches is as well. So is Chauncey Golston. Mm-hmm. But if our backup edge rushers are Chauncey Golston and Kayvon Thibodeau, we are way better than what we were last year. You know what I'm saying? Way better. That's a way better. And with Victor getting hurt, that opens the door for somebody like a Flanagan Fowles to make the team, because Chris Board is making the team. He's a special teams ace. He's making the team. So is Tamon Fox going to step up and beat out, Flanagan Fowles, or I think Deontay Johnson makes it. I think he's going to press McFadden for snaps, to be honest with you. I
think they like Moorsal too.
Yep, they like Moorsal. There's Moorsal. He's a special teamer. He will make the squad. So it's going to be between Flanagan Fowles and Tamon Fox. And if they let somebody like Trace Ford or Ty Summers beat them out, then shame on them.
Yeah, no reason why Tamon Fox shouldn't make this roster at this point. Him, Ford Wheaton, and that dang on Turbo Miller, man. They just keep hanging around. And everybody got expectations for him, as some people in the fan base, whether I've had expectations myself for Tamon Fox. I thought he at least cracked the lineup as a rotational player at this point. I know you've been high on Turbo Miller, Pat. A lot of people high on Bryce Ford Wheaton as well, man. But some of these guys, man, I think why they bringing in this competition, and shout out to Alfred, why they bringing in this competition is because they don't feel good about some of these guys, some of these Tamon Foxes and Ford Wheatons and Turbo Millers. So you're gonna see, these guys eventually get moved off the roster. They've been hanging around the roster for years now on the practice squad, one way, shape, form, or the other. And I think time is running out for some of these cats. And Tamon Fox, man, this may be his last chance to crack the Giants roster, and earn some playing time, so we'll see. But as far as better or worse, man, yeah, you can't argue that they got worse, man. That would be silly. Given
Abdul Carter alone means you got better.
Yeah, exactly. Given they drafted Abdul Carter, so but before that, you had an argument. You could argue Golston over Aziz if you wanted to, but Carter definitely trumps that, no question. So now let's move on to we'll categorize this as defensive backs, the defensive backfield right here. So you got Paulson Adebo at corner, and Javon Holland at safety.
Yeah, free safety.
You got Newbin, strong safety. You got Banks on the other outside cornerback position, and of course you got Phillips at the nose. Again, unofficial lineup, but I'll figure that is probably more than likely how they're going to line up. And then you got Corey Black, who they drafted in the 7th round. Dane Belton still here, backing up Newbin at the safety position. Anthony Johnson Jr. Backing up Javon Holland here on this depth chart. Trey Hawkins still here. And, of course, Cordell Flott. 3rd string, you got Nick Jones, Raheem Lane, Makari Page, Art Green, D. Williams. You got R.J. Delancey III, Tommy McCormick, and O'Donnell Fortune
coming out of South Carolina.
O'Donnell Fortune. So Fortune and some of these guys are undrafted free agents. But do you feel that this room is better? Of course, losing what's my man that went to the 49ers, Dustin Pinnock, and the other guy that got on my damn nerves, Adoree Jackson. They're out.
We're definitely better. Paulson Adebo makes us better. I'm looking for the cornerback room to be Paulson Adebo, Deontay Banks, Drew Phillips, Cordell Flott, Fortune, Black, and they're gonna let Trey Hawkins fight with Delancey and Tommy McCormick to see if they keep another DB on this roster. I think Fortune is better than all those guys. I think him and Black are very capable backups. Or Donald, I don't know how Donald Fortune was a undrafted free agent. He was nice at South Carolina, and I love that pickup for us to have him as a backup DB. He can come in and give you some good snaps. Now, the safety position, we know Tyler Nubin and Javon Holland. We got a lot better at the safety position, I do believe, with Javon Holland and Tyler Nubin coming off his rookie campaign. Now, Makari Page, I think he has a chance to be that third safety behind those two. I think him and Dane Belton are going to have a battle. Anthony Johnson Jr. is a very good special teamer, so he'll make it. So we have a chance to keep like 5 safeties and 6 DBs. And the 6 DBs, Tyler Nubin, Deontay Banks, Drew Phillips, and Cordell Flott are going to make it regardless. Those 4 are going to make it. Now, the last 2, you're going to be fighting between Hawkins, Black, Fortune, and the other guys, the other drafted free agents. But I think Fortune makes his way into this roster. And, you know, Trey Hawkins III might find his way out.
Interesting. Trey Hawkins, of course, draft pick a couple years ago for the New York Giants. You know, flashed in camp. When he got on the field, wasn't great. So, yeah, I mean, again, they're trying to get better on the back end of their roster. That has been the Giants' problem. When you have depth issues, it's not that your starters are necessarily scrubs. It's that when you have injuries and these backups get into the game, 2 things happen. A, it takes away from your special teams because now the special teamers have to play roles on offense and defense, and then you're filling those spots with guys that shouldn't be on the roster, and then your starting lineup takes a hit because now you got, third stringers in those starting spots, or guys you don't necessarily feel confident enough to want to run your offense or your defense the way you want to run it. So now them having some depth there, you could definitely see some of these back end guys get pushed off the roster because you might feel like they got roster spots based on the fact the Giants didn't have anybody else better. They had no better options. Now that you got some options like Pat is mentioning, you will see some of these guys that a lot of people were high on and thought it were going to turn out to be good, be not in a Giants uniform come the end of August. And again, as far as the defensive backs are concerned, I definitely think the Giants got better there. You got a major upgrade from Adoree Jackson, who I was just absolutely tired of. And you could say what you want about McKinney, which that was last year anyway, the previous year. But again, definitely an upgrade over Jason Pinnock, Javon Holland is. So we not even going to argue that. But I think this Giants secondary is better. Swapping out Pinnock and Adoree Jackson. Nothing to talk about special teams, to be honest with y'all. Is nothing really that I want to discuss other than, I'm guessing Graham Gano's still going to be here. I thought they might look to cut him and maybe get, we'll see what is it, McAtammy?
Yeah, I've been looking at that day.
McAtammy?
McAtammy.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll show enough to take Graham Gano's spot. They seem comfortable giving him what they're giving him and letting him, either kick his way or out the lineup. So we'll see. Some of these kickers, man, your kickers are streaky. Hopefully he still can be consistent, but started to see some decline in his kicking. So I don't know, man. Hopefully the Giants are scoring touchdowns and not field goals any damn way. that's the hope. So, I ain't too much worried about the special teams in that sense. Gillen, I think, is a good enough punter. Although I wouldn't mind him taking a swing at your man Crawshaw from Florida. But
I forgot who he got drafted to, but
somebody picked him up. Yeah,
I think he got drafted in the 6th round, as a matter of fact.
But I think ain't much to talk about with the special teams other than the pick, punt, and kick returners. Now, I see Montrell Washington there. You got D. Williams, and they got Smith Marset as the punt and kick returner. Don't know why on God's green earth they continue to put Eric Gray on kick returns, but he's there as the backup. Kick return, punt return, man. This could go either way. Who are some of the candidates that you see could possibly upgrade this position? Because this looks kind of ugly to me. It look real ugly to me, especially when you got Eric Gray up there as a man.
Shit, Juice Wells. Tell me.
Yep. Juice Wells.
That's your guy.
Juice Wells. Okay.
If you want to upgrade it, Juice Wells is the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Eric Gray makes the roster, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either. I hope not. I don't see how. I mean, you got Singletary still, and you got drafted Scatbo, and you got Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, no spot for him. Even if you keep 4, I'll find a spot for somebody else. Turbo Miller and one of these cats, but that's kind of where we're at with the position by position breakdown here today. But get back to
I like this kid Fortune, man.
You do. So I'm sure you probably have something on some type of tape film review on Fortune, or so maybe get into that on the next episode of Giants Conversation, man. But I'm gonna cut this one a little bit short here today, y'all. It's Mother's Day. Go be with your mom, go hug your mom, your girlfriend, your baby's mamas, whatever, daughter, whoever, is a woman, mother, of such in your life. This is a sports show, predominantly dominated by guys. So we have to be mindful of the ladies as well here, at least I am. So anything to add, Pat, man, before we get out of here today? Next week, of course, we got the schedule release. So not Giants Conversation will definitely be lit next week. We're going to get into, how we do this. We're going, win, loss. We're going to break down the matchups, all that good stuff. So be a nice, good, juicy show for you next week, man. But we're going to take this one off early, man, for the ladies.
Exactly. The schedule release show is going to be dope, man. I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in today on Mother's Day, man. Like you said, go the women in your life that are mothers, and just the women in your life, period, that you love, man. Go show them some love today, and make things cool for them today. Let them relax a little bit today. We are dedicated, so we have to give you some type of show today on the Giants Convo, and I think it was pretty interesting. I do believe that we have a little bit more depth on this team than we have had previous years. And I really like this defense going into the season. I really do. Now, can this offense help them to get off the field? Maybe we'll have a little something. But be on the lookout for that whole Jackson Dart situation, too, because I do believe he's going to be forced in earlier
Didn't expect it. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. We go out there, we lay a dud against Dallas, and we get beat the next week. Jackson Dart. That's what you're gonna hear. The media is gonna press it. The fan base is gonna press it, and Brian Daboll's job is on the line, so that's gonna press him to do it as well. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with the guy that I want to draft it. I'm not gonna go out with an old Russell Wilson. I'm gonna go out with Jackson Dart. And if he can show progress, I think he saves his job.
If I'm John Mara, I'm telling the NFL commissioner, whoever, schedule makers, stop messing with me. You keep setting my team up for fail by giving them this Cowboys game off rip. The Cowboys are always a team that the Giants don't want to see in the beginning of the season.
Yep.
Because the Giants are never prepared in the beginning of a season. And to go up against a division rival that you're never ready for, you always seem to get your butt whipped. You know, even in good seasons that they do good in, I see this matchup turning out for the worst. So, yeah, they better hope that Jerry Jones, had a moment of what do you call it? When you get real old, he can't remember shit, amnesia, whatever, and couldn't, and that was just, him trolling or, whatever, mistaken. Because if they got to place the Cowboys week 1, man, it's not going to be good. Always a blood.
And we're going to get whooped. I think George Pickens, well, I will say this, the defense stays ready. It's that offense that scares me. I think we will actually have a pretty good defensive battle with the Cowboys. We'll probably lose around 24-13, 24-14. Somewhere. Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, but
it's
Alzheimer's. That's another one.
I think the Cowboys is the team that we have the chance of beating. To be honest with you, because our defense can make them get out of character, and we can win that game. We can run the ball, control the clock, continue to get them off the field, and maybe put up some points when we get in the red zone.
I think we can beat I think the Giants can beat the Cowboys too. But look, the thing of it is a lot of times when you play that team. Now, if you got this Cowboys team, fully healthy, and that'd be the other thing. They be fully healthy. They got all their starters. Their quarterback will be back. They'll be in fine tune because they're already, a veteran-laden team where they got people that's been together for years and years and years. And you got brand new Russell Wilson to the Giants. All these brand new players, and we thinking they're gonna change the scheme as well. So you got to get acclimated to that. The Giants are never gonna be ready on game
coach
1
has
for
a
Cowboys.
point right there. They do have a rookie head coach, so
yeah, it's never mattered before. They beat us when Jason Garrett was a rookie head coach. They beat us when Daniel McCarthy was a rookie head coach. Well, not a rookie, but a head coach. And that dude's been there for a while. We will see, though. I'm definitely hoping that I'm wrong and that, first of all, it ain't the Cowboys week 1. And then second of all, if it is, that they can actually pull this one out. And we'll see where it's at, whether it's in Jerry's world, as they call it, or in Jersey, and maybe the Giants can show up and show out for a change and support this team, and maybe they get the dubs. Healthy Cowboys team. That's what I'm saying. You always get them at full strength when you got them week 1. That's not what you want. You want a team where you don't really know that team, like the Bears. That would be a perfect matchup.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Something like that. That's what you want if you're the Giants. You know what I'm saying? That way, okay, they figuring shit out. We figuring shit out. You don't want a team that's kind of got their shit together and they know you, and they have had success against you quite more often than not. And again, they get everybody back for that game. The Cowboys might be a trash team next year, but that game one, they'll be fully healthy, you know, with what
they got something to prove.
Yeah, they want to come out, you know, firing. They the Cowboys. They're gonna be hyped up all year, all off season, like every year. So, but yeah, that is all I got for y'all today. Definitely hit that like and subscribe for the Aboriginal Sports Network. We are on our way to 500. Help us get there by pushing that button, man, and supporting the show. I am your host, NYG22, also known as Unpopular Opinion Sports. Wouldn't mind if you go over and hit the like for my channel as well as my co-host, Big Pat Sports Talk. You know, the veteran of the group. Been doing it for a minute, man. If you ain't subscribed, go do that right now to Big Pat Sports Talk, man. Because we do work here. We do work on our channels. We just work. That's what we do. So definitely support everything we got going on, man. Just two hardworking brothers, man. You know, with a bunch of other brothers, you know, trying to put out some content. That's it. But once again, shout out to the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, man. And we'll see y'all on the rebound. Peace.